Hey everyone, welcome back to Glitz and Glitter. So I'm going to use what is left. There's nothing left in here. My resin casting powder. I completely emptied it. So I'm going to do two things for you. I was asked on a comment the other day if I can show you guys how I put together my keychains. I'm like, well, that's pretty simple, but I don't want to do a whole video on that. So I'm like, what kind of keychains can I make that I haven't done on camera? And I have not done these. So this is all that I have left of my casting powder. I need to get some more. So I split it between 2 cups because I have these mixed to mold terrazzo chips. So you can make your own if you wanted to out of this casting powder, but I'm too lazy to do that. So I just bought mine at Michael's and I couldn't decide which one I wanted to do. So I split my powder into 2. What I'm worried about is if I over pour my water, then I won't be making anything. And you probably won't even be seeing this video at that point. So I'm going to do one at a time, put one color in one and one color in the other. I'm going to make the keychains. So I've cleaned all the largest ones of these molds. I don't have a clue how many it's gonna fill. It may fill 1, I don't know, but I have them ready just in case. So that's what we're gonna do today. And I'm going to try to show you how to get these colors to show through because I have not done that yet. They say once it is cured, it says 72 hours, but you know I don't follow directions very well. That, oh no, it says 48 hours. Sand to reveal the colorful chips. I'm not waiting 48 hours, guys. I'm not doing it. So we're gonna let these cure an hour or 2. And then I'm sanding because I feel like it'll be easier to sand before it's completely solid, because once it's completely solid, I'm like gonna have to use muscle that I don't have. So are you guys ready to start today? I'm kind of excited for this. So let's get going. All right, I think what I'm going to do is use a little pipette for my water because I don't want to overdo it. And I don't have a lot of time to do this. So I'm not the best at this stuff, but I am learning how to use it properly. And I do know the consistency I'm looking for. So I didn't want to just dump it in because when I dump it in, I need more powder and I don't have more powder. So I don't want to completely ruin this last little bit of resin powder that I have because I really want these to work. So I'm just gonna go one at a time now because now it's getting wet. I don't weigh my stuff. I know you're supposed to, but I just, like I said, it doesn't work for me. I'm just going to wing it like I have recently and it works. Okay, so this is pretty good. And you don't have a ton of time. Like this might be the fastest video ever because I don't have a lot of time to work with it. So that's pretty, I'm thinking that's really good. So I'm gonna like douse this because I want it to be able to, I don't want to have to sand forever to try to find terrazzo chips. So I am going to just completely, kind of like what I do with glitter. Just pretend this is glitter. That's how much I'm putting in. I'm just pouring like a lot. And I'm not sure if this is gonna thicken it up. I might have to add a little bit more water, but I don't have a lot of time to think about it. I think I'm gonna do just a couple drops, not much, just so I can pour it in. You think that's enough? Oh, I think that's enough. There's a lot in there. Okay, let me move this out of the way. I definitely didn't need that much water, but that's okay. So, which ones? Let's do these ones. I haven't done these ones for a while. I don't know how many I'm gonna get. I wonder if I have, oh gosh, you don't need that much. So I hope I have enough keychain molds to do this now that I'm putting it in. It's making sure it goes around that little tiny thing for the hole. Okay, that didn't take very much. So maybe I'll make a couple pendants out of it too, because I don't have anything else ready to pour into. I did not think I would be able to make that many of these. So let's do these two, and then I'll do some pendants because I definitely want some in the other chips too. And I will be sealing them after I wait the proper amount of time, of course. But I am not waiting the proper amount of time to sand them down because it's just too hard. It's just, I don't have a lot of muscle in my arms. All right, so let's do, I guess you could do little keychains out of these. It doesn't matter. You don't have to have a massive keychain, right? Let's do a couple of these. And the nice stuff about this stuff is it cures really fast. In like an hour, you can demold it. I don't know that in an hour I'll be sanding it, but in a couple hours, although you guys know it's already late at night. I swear, I don't know why I start this so late. It's like 10 o'clock at night. So maybe I'll be sanding tomorrow. I don't know. I'm sure I won't be able to sleep until I do it. So not that it makes a difference to you guys because it's just a second for you. All right, that's good. I don't think I can get a whole lot more. Where would I put it if I do? Let's see if it fits in here. Okay, good. Well, that's a decent amount. Of course, I'm making a mess. So let me just wipe this off and do that all over again with the other color. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way. Clean these up around the edges. I love that I don't have to wear, I don't think you have to wear gloves. Well, if you have to wear gloves, guys, I don't know it, so don't yell at me. All right, let me try to tap these. Get them nice and level. Little Terrazzo chip sticking out, there we go. Okay, these are level. I'm going to move them out of the way and get the next set out. All right, I'm just going to do exactly what I did, except I'm going to add a little bit more water first, so I'm not going to struggle. Please don't overdo it, Michelle. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. Oh, goodness. Okay, I didn't overdo it. Whew. I have no backup, so I'm trying to be extremely cautious because I have no backup plan. Okay, I just need like a tiny little squirt. It literally feels like plaster when you're doing this. If it's like water, then you put too much in and you need some more powder. But because I don't have any more powder, that's not going to happen today. All right, that's good. I'm just going to douse it. This one is purple and yellow and green and white. The other one was browns and reds and greens and tans. But because I didn't have any more powder and I don't know when I'm going to get any more, I wanted to definitely try both colors today. Let's add a little extra to this batch. What do you think? Cool. All right. Now this isn't as bad as polyurethane. Not really bad. I don't want to use that term, bad, because I like polyurethane resin too. As far as work time, you have a little bit longer because polyurethane resin, you have like 2 minutes and you got to get it poured. This, I don't know the exact timing, so I don't want to be wrong, but it's not that long. I know it's set up in an hour, so it'll probably, I mean, one time when I was mixing it, I probably was messing around with it for 15 minutes and that was too long to be messing around with it. So you don't have a ton of time, but you have more than polyurethane resin, because I know that makes some of you guys nervous working with that little short period of time. But it's really cool when you want to demold something quick. Like, what if you forgot a present for somebody and you had like an hour and you didn't have time to go to the store? You could make something with polyurethane resin in no time. Be like, yeah, I handmade this for you. They don't need to know it took you 5 minutes. It was a thought that counts, right? That's what they told us when we were kids. All right, one more. Little, something little. I could do this little one, possibly. I didn't do too bad then. I used it all up, no problems. I'm just going to, there's really no bubbles coming out of these per se, but I am just getting them level. And that's it for now. So if you want to see these colors up close, this was the purple. There's a lot in here, so I definitely need to get me some more powder if this works good. Purple, orange, white, tan, green, and then this one is reds. It's all clumped together at the bottom. Reds, greens, browns, tans. So it depends what look you're going for. Again, I got these at Michael's, and they had like an end cap full of like those, and they had some colorings you could buy, and the colorings work really well, better than what I can come up with. So that is where I got those. I'm not sure. I haven't looked online. If I could find links for you for them, I definitely will do that. Okay, that's it for now. I'm gonna let these cure. You could already see they're drying up a little bit, so I'll come check on them in about an hour. It has been 2.5 hours, and what I did for one of those hours was turn my heat mat on. I can't remember if I turned it on medium or high. I don't know. Usually I do medium, so I'm going to say medium. So I put it on for an hour, and they feel dry. They're not cold. Obviously, they're warm. Sometimes you feel cold, so I'm just going to pop them out of here. There's a couple bubbles on the edge of that one. Well, just one bubble. I forgot to go around my edges. So if you try this, even with regular resin, well, this one, well, yeah, I got one bubble there. So maybe I'll do the backs. I'm gonna do the side that doesn't have a bubble, because I don't think it really matters, because we're gonna sand it down anyway. But just take like a silicone tool and go around all your edges. I forgot to do it. I was so excited about these. Well, that one doesn't have any bubbles. So they look pretty good. Oops. Well, they're not that fragile because it didn't break. Okay, I'm just gonna pop them all out. I've got some sandpaper here. See, that one has a couple bubbles, so I'll just use the side that doesn't have bubbles. What genius is that? All right, now look at how many I got out of that tiny little bit of powder that I had left. So that's pretty cool. Plenty to choose from. So I have two. I have a really heavy grit because I need this for something. I don't know. This was a 40. I don't think I'll need a 40, but I didn't know how hard this was going to be. So let's just pick one. Let's pick that one. I'm gonna push these aside. I don't know what number this is. I think 240 or something. And let's just see if I can do it right out of the curing machine. Let's see how hard this is. Well, I kind of want to keep it flat. I don't want to break it. I don't know how fragile it is. Probably a lot more fragile than it would be if I waited the 48 hours like it said. But look, it's already coming through. Let me try this coarse one. Maybe it'll be quick. Again, I don't want to break it. Yeah, it's coming through. And when you get too much powder in there, just knock it off and start over again. This was from an his orbital sander. That's why it's round and has the holes. It's working, you guys. I obviously am not going to make you watch me do all these. but I will do a few. Nice, 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 nice. Again, knock it off. Comes right out. Almost there. And obviously, well, not obviously, but if you're new, but I'm going to top coat these with UV resin, and that will bring a shine to it. But see this part here where it's more white? I'm just trying to get down a little bit farther so we can get some color evenly on this whole thing. Almost there. I don't want to go too thin because I need this to be like, I feel like I'm going lopsided too. I'm going to do this side a little bit more than the other side. Kind of hard because they're little. So see how this side is thinner than this side? Not by much, but yeah, you got to be a little what's the word I'm looking for? You gotta know exactly which side you're doing more than the other. I'm just trying to press this side more. So I don't want them too thin. I'm gonna say I'm gonna stop there. So this is the purple and the green one. Because I took a lot off. I think it's going to like become more colorful with the UV resin on there. Let's see. I don't remember which is which. Which ones did I pour first? I want to do one of the brown ones. Was this one of the first ones? I can't remember. Let's see what we got underneath this one. So you need to apply even pressure. Yeah, this is a brown one. Even pressure against the whole thing so you don't go lopsided. I wonder, you know what? Oh, I don't have any water. I got rid of my water. I have soapy water. I wonder if that would help. I just sprayed a little bit of water on here. See if wet sanding would help. Ooh, wet sanding might help better. Cool. Let's see what we got here. I'm just gonna try it on that purple one I already started. Oh yeah, that looks good. That looks really good. And of course this bubble went front to back. Let me try the purple one with some water. And I don't want to do this one too much more because it's getting kind of thin. Oh, look at that. So much nicer. So I need to let that dry before I do UV resin, which shouldn't take very long. And if it does, I'll just turn my heat mat on them. So I'm not going to make you wait for all these. So in the click of a thumb, done. So how do you like them? It didn't take me that long at all. And you know, the best way that I found, as you can see, I have completely used up this sanding. Although if I wash it off, it's probably really still gritty. What I did was I took my water bottle and I put some water on there. I'll find one. But because these are so thin, I couldn't go too far. So this one could use it a little bit more because you could still see a lot of white. I put my water on there and it really is creating a little lather, which doesn't really make a difference to me. And I just sanded it for just a little bit. See the lather on there? Then I wiped it off and you got your color underneath. So I think that that's the best way, but because these are so thin, I don't want to go too deep. Like if I went deeper, I would get more color, I think. But I don't want to do that because I'm happy with them and they're keychains and they don't have to be like perfect because they're going to be in somebody's purse. See, like this one could do a little bit more. Maybe I'll do this one a little bit more. Take my wet paper. See, there's a lot of grit underneath that water. So get a nice coarse paper, I say, because it won't take as long. And just rub it. See, that came out even better already. Like, this is real time, people. I'm not like speeding it up or anything. That's it. So I've got my heat mat on underneath my hand. So this is warm right now. And I had them all flipped over like this to dry the tops out that I just wet, even though I don't feel wetness on them anymore. So we're gonna leave them over like that while I move on to the next step. Let me get ready. I've got my UV light out. It's the dual one. Not that this is gonna work dually, but I like the little tray that slides in and out. It just makes my life easier. And a lot of you have asked me, how do I clean my tray? Because as you can see, my tray is not in great shape. So basically, this is what I do. I take a knife. This is all mostly flat, and I don't really use that side, but here's a piece I'll show you. I just take a knife for my little scribe here, and I just go up underneath it, and I pop all the little pieces off. I don't have a magic trick. This is my magic trick. And I just kind of scrape it, or you could take like a little razor blade if you can get up underneath it. But like I said, this is mostly flat. It just looks dirty because I've done this so many times on here. And just scrape it right off. It pops right off the plastic. So if your things are not sitting level, then it's time to scrape your tray. I don't think that they sell trays separately, but maybe that would be a good idea for Let's Resin. I should suggest it to them to sell some, you know, replacement trays for those of us that can't get them clean anymore. But it's still transparent, so it's still gonna go through, but the only problem is obviously it won't sit level. But this is pretty much everything off of it. It just looks dirty. I'm just gonna get it back where it belongs. And I have my first one, and I've chosen a Tree of Life pendant. Now you don't have to put charms on everything. I do because I have so many of them and I like the way they look. So I thought that would look good on here. I've got my UV resin clear hard type out. And of course gloves. And what I'm going to do after I make my gloves a little tighter. Oops. Now I need a new glove because I just ripped this one. Hang on a minute, guys. Do not do anything with resin without gloves on. Please. So I just pulled a little too hard. Okay. What I'm gonna do is top coat. Now I did a whole entire video on these. I think it was number 471. I could be wrong, but for some reason that number sticks out to me. So you can go watch the entire video on how I do pendants. Now this is the same way as I do a coaster or a tray or anything that I top coat. I get my resin on the top from the middle and I pull it to the edge and I just kind of flick it right over the edge, and the surface tension, somehow physics, doesn't let it go over the side. I'm not saying I've never had it go over the side, but most of the time it doesn't go over the side. And now I take my long neck lighter, I pop any bubbles in my resin, get any little hairs out too. Ooh, don't pull them over the side or they are gonna drip. And then I take my little charm, whatever charm you choose, I drop it right in there and I just move it where I want it. I'm just gonna get it center. I make sure there's resin up around the hole but not in the hole. And then I just cure it. And while that one's curing, I'm usually working with the next one. Here's the next one. And I'm just kind of going through all my little charms. See what would look cute. That would be cute. So I see these little holes that are made for the necklace. I just take my little clippers here. I do not know what the names of these tools are, you guys. I'm sure they're not even the right tools for the job, but they work for me. And I just take those little loops off. And I just kind of multitask when one's curing, or I do a whole bunch at a time and cure them all at the same time. Now, I'm not going to do all of these with you. I'm not going to bore you to death. But if you missed that video where I did do it for like 40 minutes with you guys, then you'll get a little quick synopsis here. So I'm just trying to get all that little piece off. So that one's ready to go. And that one is already like, it's not like completely cured, but it's good enough where it's not going to be going over the edge. So I just must have went right through the hole. Yes, it went through the hole. So what I do when it goes through the hole, I have a jewelry drill, really tiny. And when they're all completely done, don't handle it much though. I leave it in the light the whole time that I'm working on something else. So every time I turn the light on for a minute, these are like getting done, more done and more done. And then when they are done, I'll take that jewelry drill, I don't know why I can't say that, and pop the hole back through. See, like this one got filled with a little dust. So I'm just gonna pop my little scribe through there. Now I'm not gonna do anything with the backs today because they haven't fully cured and all the water is not out of them, but I just wanted to do a little bit of this for you so I can put some together. And I like to use my dragonfly glaze because it's iridescent and it's pretty, and I don't have any glitter in this, so that's my way of getting a little bit of pizzazz. So I generally use dragonfly glaze on this casting powder. I also have a clear sealer that is made by Mix to Mold that you can use, but you do have to seal this stuff. And it will become rock hard, especially with UV resin on top. So you will not have to worry about anything. Okay, so I'm just gonna, I don't see any bubbles, but I don't like to be surprised later after it's done. So I go over it anyway. Pop that where you want it, move it around where you need it. So this one is gonna get like a minute, while that one's gonna get another minute. And then while that one's doing its thing, I just move on to the next one. So that's what I'll do for a little while. I'll do a couple of them. I'm not gonna do all of them because there are a lot here and this can take me hours. But I'll do a few off camera and then I'll come back when they're ready and we'll put some keychains together. I do want to show you if the edges are a little sharp and a little bumpy, take a nail file. This stuff sands so easily. and just nail file all the way around until it's nice and smooth, which it is, and it only took a couple seconds. So nail files are a great tool for this kind of stuff. So I got 5 ready. 3 were good with the holes. This one I did have to drill. So a jewelry drill. Oh my gosh. That's what this is. It's just a cheapie that I got from Temu, and I have to plug it in, so I'm not plugging it in because the plug's on the other side of the room. But you just drill through carefully because you don't want to crack this. So I did make the hole in this one, and I remade the hole in this one. And this one is just going to get a pinch bail. Now don't forget, I'm going to go back tomorrow and I'm going to seal the backs, but I mean, with the heat mat on these things, they're pretty solid. So there is a pendant with a little flower, and take any you can UV resin the back if you want to after 24 hours, I think it is. But if you put a heat mat on them, I don't think I don't know, they seem so dry to me, but I'm not going to do it just in case. So I'm just going to show you. I guess I could paint around them. I'll go grab my dragonfly glaze and I'll show you. Let me go grab the other one too. So like I said, you could seal it with anything. So the dragonfly glazes are color changing, and they kind of look like this label when they're painted on. I usually like to do 2 coats. I have 4 colors. I think the kit comes with 4 colors. So those are those that I will do. I also, Mix to Mold sells their sealer. I have gloss. I think they have matte as well, but I didn't buy the matte. It says normal use apply 1 coat. Outdoor and heavy water use apply 3 coats. Food contact apply 5 coats. Allow 2 hours drying time between coats. Fully cures in 5 days. So that's how you use their sealer. So yeah, but I like the shimmer that I get off of those, especially for pretty things. I'll just do this little one so you can see what it's going to look like, because I'm really not too nervous about it. They feel really dry because I flash cured them with the heat mat. So let me grab a little brush, and I just, let's see, which one do I want? This one is purple and green, so we'll do, what is this one? Violet, blue, and green. Perfect. All the colors in my little thing. So I'm just going to get some glaze. It's like iridescent, and it's got a beautiful shimmer to it. So there's my sparkle. Since I didn't add any in, this is how I'm going to get it. And this stuff dries pretty quick, but probably, you know, let it dry overnight. And then do the edges, which I can't really do today because the back is wet. And I'm going to try not to get it on. So that's how I do that. So let's go ahead and put together some keychains. I just want to get this off of my brush before I start something else. I don't want it to dry on there. Now I didn't do all of them. It's really late at night, but I do want to do some of them for you. So I have, where are they? My jump ring case. Don't ask me what size, because I bought all the sizes that they have and I split them into their own container, and depending on what I'm doing is the size that I choose for the jump rings. So I don't know what sizes they are. I just kind of grab them. So your best bet is to buy a whole bunch. They're really super cheap. So just buy every size they have available. Get a little container if you're going to want to make things like this. Okay, so the first one I put the biggest jump ring in. And a lot of the times I'll take these little charms that have a saying on them. A lot of times I'll just throw it on right there. But because these are so big and I don't want to cover up my charm there, I'm not going to do that. So you just squeeze them back together, and I kind of squeeze them next to each other because I don't want anything to happen. So then I take smaller ones, and I don't know what size these are again, and I just kind of start stacking them until you get the chain part as long as you want it. And at any point you can put like these little tassels on, like this color would go great with these. And I think I'll put it on this next ring for the tassel. And it can be very time consuming because you're working with little tiny stuff, which is why my extras take me a long time to finish, because I'm like one little piece at a time, building them up, picking the charms for each of them, making sure they look right, taking them apart if they don't. I mean, it's all things that you don't see on camera, but there are hours and hours and hours behind the scenes. So definitely, if you want to make keychains and pendants, and if you already do, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I just squeeze that together, and then I take another one. And usually I'll do 3 to 4 of these little rings. I don't make them too big because they're really not doing anything other than holding each other together. So I would buy a whole lot of these small ones. When you kind of figure out what sizes you need, then you can like overbuy so you have a whole bunch of them. But I think they come in packages of like, I don't know, 100 or 200 or something like that. And I basically just keep building till I get about 3 rings high, squeezing them together so they can't come apart when you're using them. So I do spread them apart for the actual key ring itself because they don't fit really well around them. Get the key ring on here. Find the last one. Whoops. See, again, and you're dropping things as it happens, starting over many times. And I hope I was in camera for most of that because honestly, I don't know if I was or not. But I'll do another one for you just in case I wasn't. And you can stop there if you want to, which is most of the time what I do. But a lot of times women like to have little hooks for their purse charms. So I will take, sometimes I'll take this, and I've got a whole bunch of these little clasp things, and I will just feed this onto the key ring like that. And they'll have a little hooky thing if you want it. So that's that one. That's how I build them. Now if I wanted that little charm that says something, I probably would have put it up high on this one because you don't want it to cover that. But if you have a really tiny one, I do it on this one here. So we'll do another one and we'll put a charm on that one. So again, I start with my biggest one at the bottom. And if you have like this one, it has a flower on it, and I have a flower charm. I try to coincide what I'm doing, so I'm just not randomly throwing anything on there. So there is thought process behind all this. So don't do this when you're in a hurry. Do it when you're feeling creative. And this one, again, I don't want it right there. And I'm sure these are not the right tools, but honestly, I don't know what the right tools are, and they work for me, so that's why I'm using them. And then sometimes I'll go like one size smaller for the next ring. And we'll get a little, let's see, what color would look good? Do I have purple? I do have purple. We'll get the little tassel. You don't always have to put a tassel on, but They look cute, and especially if I have a color coordinating one, and they always fall off. Like I said, I'm doing things 2 and 3 times all the time. Squeeze it really hard. All right, now I'm going to go to my smallest size. Actually, I'm not going to use my gloves anymore because I'm done with the UV resin tonight, and my hands are sweating. Just try not to break a nail. I just widen them sometimes. Now this one, on the third one, I'm going to go ahead and put the little flower is double-sided, so it doesn't matter what side is showing out. Sometimes they're not double-sided. So keep that in mind and kind of hold it up when you're looking at it to see what it's looking like. So that's going to hold up pretty good. It's not going to cover the other flower, but it goes with the other flower. So I think I'll do 2 more rings and then the keychain part. And I just kind of hook it to the very last one, which is the flower one, to kind of lift that up. Squeeze them. And then this one is going to hold the keychain. Let's see, where did it go? There it is. Grab yourself a keychain or one of those other hooks, whatever you decide to use. And there is that one. Super cute. So tomorrow I will go ahead and paint the backs of all these. Let me see if this one's dry. Yep, that one feels really dry. So I just need to go around the edge. And then you can UV resin it if you want to stay on there forever, but I'm pretty sure it's sunk in there. So I'm just going to do these 2 real quick, and then I'll show you the end result. So I have these done. I will finish the rest tomorrow because there are a lot to do, and it's like past midnight. So this one has a little thing that says love on both sides of it. And I picked a lavender tassel because it goes pretty good. Again, I need to paint all the backs. This one, I got a burgundy tassel, and then this one says life is a gift, and the back was another tree of life. So I thought that was fitting. So those are those. You saw this one already. You saw this one already. So I've got a lot more to do tomorrow, and I will come back and show you those when we're done. It's the next day. Everything is dry. And so what I did, these are the ones I did last night. I just went through and I put the dragonfly glaze on the backs of them. See the shimmer and shine? And then I coated all the backs of everything with UV resin. And then I just did the glaze on the sides. I didn't UV resin these edges. So these were the ones I did yesterday. So the ones I did today, I put the glaze on the top. So this is the difference. This one, if I can get it in the light properly, maybe this isn't a good one, but the glaze gives this one a shimmer. I wish you could see it. It's not allowing me to pick it up. So there's a shimmer on the tops of these, and these are more of a stark color. Let me see if I could do a better one. Here's a dragonfly. Imagine that. Can you see it? I don't think you guys can see it. Well, it's there, and it looks really pretty in person. For some reason, you could see the back of it. It's the exact same thing on the top. So I had 4 colors, but I use the same color on all of them. So there's a dragonfly one. I just put a tassel on each one of them that went with the color. Some of them got charms, like this one got a heart charm. And this one got a love charm. And I happen to have a tassel that color. Oh, I put the glaze on the flower as well. This is like a 3D flower. I bought these at Hobby Lobby years ago, and I went to go get more because I used them all now, and they don't carry them anymore, so I'm kind of upset about that. I really like the 3D flower thing. Here's a little paw print. So all the rest of them have glaze on the top and the back because I love glitter. And again, all the sides were already glazed too, but not UV resin. There's a cat on a moon. And this one is like a little fairy in a star. Man, I wish you guys could see what I see. And this one is a little rose. And one more of a cat. So that's it, you guys. 2 new things. Now you know how I put these together, and you know how to use these little terrazzo chips. You could have, I didn't want to take the time because there's so many of them, but you could have like sanded the backs of them as well and had that same effect on something that thin, especially because I packed them. I could see them in there and they were bumpy, so that's why I put the UV resin in there. Should I have taken the time to do it? Probably, yeah, but I didn't, so that's that. All right, I'm going to take a few pictures for you, and I will see you all tomorrow. You guys have a blessed day. See you later. Bye.